We are now a full 2 months into starting our direct-to-consumer cattle business. The calves came off the trailer from Adam's family farm at around 9 months old and 600 pounds. So far, we've been feeding hay bales we made this summer and a once-a-day corn protein ration. Currently, they are all healthy and strong with about 200 pounds of gain so far. And in about 7 months, they'll be full weight and the beef will be for sale direct-to-consumer on our farmer grade website. Now in this video, we'll spend the next week taking care of the cattle. We have a lot of chores to do as they're running low on their feed ration and the bin's about empty. And the warm spring weather is making things really sloppy and wet, so we gotta get their barn cleaned out. Adam just bought a new tractor, so we'll be hooking that up to the mixer and making a new batch of feed for the cattle. This is Adam's new tractor that he just bought, and I think he's gonna get a loader on it, so we might see it this summer during hay season.
New to me tractor. It's a 1983 International 3688. This is about 115 to 125 horsepower tractor. The 88 series is actually the last series International ever made. Maybe a collector's item someday, I don't know. They made about 2,500 of these 3688s, so they're not the most common. There's 6,700 hours on this thing, so pretty low hour, really clean. The nice thing about the 88 series is it's got the upgraded cab layout and everything. Handy chore tractor, just a little upgrade from the Oliver I was using. I had an older one, Oliver 770, which is only about 45 horsepower and was just a little underpowered for grind and feed for, I don't know, 20 beef. Today we're gonna grind some feed, so I call it Living History Farms. We're gonna kind of old technology, but I have an old grinder mixer here. It's actually a hammer mill, pretty simple machine. I'll show you guys how it works. This is the hammer mill part of it. Come around, this thing spins, and it just mills down the corn and the feed stuff. I just want to crack corn. Ideal would be take every kernel of corn, crack it exactly in half. These aren't the best for it, but they're relatively inexpensive. And then run the tractor at pretty low RPM. From the mill, there's an auger in the bottom that just takes it to the tank. And then there's a vertical auger here that actually mixes up the feed. So protein, corn, some roughage and soy hull pellets, and some other things that we put in here. And this just gets an even mix. Shutting off the mill to add the supplement. Disengage the flywheel, yeah. First thing we're going to add is just the balancer mineral. So it's a mineral pack, and it does have monensin in it. Monensin does is it prevents coccidiosis in cattle. Encourage or promote good flora of the gut. Convert the starch in the corn, the carbohydrate source, into propionic acid. So you get better average daily gain, higher feed efficiency, and then healthier cattle. It looks just like a mineral powder. Next, we're going to add our soybean meal. In particular, it's 46% protein. Cattle just need protein to be able to digest some of the fiber in it. All right, next we're going to add, it's a calcium carbonate. So when you start feeding soybean meal as a protein source, it's got a lot of phosphorus in it. So to balance all the high phosphorus, you got to add some additional calcium. The other thing calcium carbonate does, it actually helps buffer the rumen pH. So this is basically, think of it, Tums for cattle. So next, we're gonna add brown bags here, soy hull pellets. And all this is the outside of the soybean meal, the hull. In soybean meal processing, they take them off, grind them up, and pellet them. They're very digestible for cattle. The main reason I add them is they're 35% fiber, so it's just a fiber source. So these types of mills and mixers can't use ground hay, and so I kind of use additional fiber sources. The lowest cost, most readily available items in this part of the country. We have a lot of corn and soybeans, so that's what we use. Finally got enough feed in the mixer that it'll start mixing.
Gotcha.
9 bags. And so now this will all start mixing together. And lastly, it's called Fiber Plus, but it's basically cotton byproducts. So the reason I add this is 50% fiber. Again, it's another fiber source. The pellets actually swell when they get wet, and so you get better gut fill for the animal. It also kind of slows the passage. Soy hull pellets are a great fiber source, but they're very digestible. They'll go through the animal's intestinal tract very quickly. This will just slow the process down. Cattle get adjusted to their diet. I'll probably take some of this out.
So all that we dumped right here, it's mixing, and then we'll fill this whole entire tank with corn, and it'll grind the corn.
Auger will take it up to the mill, it'll mill it, and then the milled corn will go into the tank, and we'll just fill up the tank. It's a 2-ton mixer.
So then all that got mixed in there, and then we'll be adding corn all the way to the top here.
So now we engage the flywheel. The PTO will turn the flywheel, which will then turn the hammer mill.
So here now we got it full, and that's what it looks like. That's what comes out of our 5-gallon buckets, what we bucket feed.
One of those cool hydraulic ones.
This is like a little drag line train. We're gonna bring the Oliver over under the auger. He's just gonna keep mixing this. All right, we're gonna see if we can figure out how to run this.
Turn the gas on.
Yep.
Ignition, choke. The Olivers had a unique shift pattern.
Yep.
You got 2 neutrals and 2 reverses.
Got it.
This is 1951 Spencer. You could have been cultivating your corn.
Sure.
Yep. Left brake, right brake. That's supposed to be, well, that's supposed to be both brakes. See how good Spencer is at backing up a tricycle front end. They're a little bit different than the 8110. Yeah, he's way off.
Oh gosh.
Got her.
Then this is what we just made. So all those ingredients are in here. You can see those pellets, the corn, and all that other stuff Adam was talking about. And then this will go into the bulk bin now.
Perfect.
Good?
Yeah, let me get the auger up and then bottom. It's basically a mini auger wagon, grain cart. So there's a big difference in flavor from store-bought. A lot of people like the animals, they don't really want to know the product. The smell's soft.
So then now this bulk bin is full and good to go for the next couple of weeks for feed for these guys. Now over the next couple of days, the weather turned warm and all the snow melted. Things got wet and sloppy, and we got to do some spring cleaning of the cow barn and get some dry bedding in for them. There's about 6 weeks of manure and bedding that we need to scoop up and haul off. Now we're back here checking on the cows. Today is March 1st, so we're going to clean out their area here, and we don't need that thick bed pack anymore because it's not going to be too cold. So we're going to clean that up for them, and these guys are starting to eat a lot more. All this will be scraped out, and then we'll send it to the manure pile. I think we're going to use Adam's manure spreader as like a wagon. This is the last of the oat bales that we made that got fed out to these guys, so they ate it down pretty quick. They're a lot more tame now than the first time they got off the trailer and being around us a lot more. So eventually we're gonna use this pile of manure on our field for our crops, and so it's good every few months to stir it up. Right now I can feel the heat coming off this, and it's probably 35 degrees out right now.
And all we're trying to do here is get more oxygen into the pile. So we started this last fall and built the pile throughout the winter. And inside the pile, the bacteria actually use up the oxygen and compost. And so with oxygen, you get really good byproducts, being nitrogen, phosphorus, stuff you want to put on your fields to build fertility.
So we just got these whips in the mail. They're from US Whips. They just sent them to us. We're gonna be sorting the cows with them and also the calves. Yeah.
Did it work, buddy? Yeah. Whip works good.
We'll go together. Ready? We'll stay here and here.
Bring them around the bale feeder, bud. You like that flag?
So this is some pretty thick stuff in here. So we'll clean this all out and get them a fresh new bed because they don't need this. The warm temps coming. All right, we're gonna use the Oliver to run the spreader. We got a little leak here.
I just saw that. engage it.
Yep.
Go.
Pulling. So this is Adam's gas Oliver. That's the transmission range. There's 2 reverses, 6 gears, PTO engage right here, and we're just using the manure spreader as a dump trailer. So it's narrow front end, has the flywheel on the side too, and pretty cool just running something. Brakes are kind of cool, how they work. Right now they're double, but there's your singles. Now Adam scraped out the cow yard here and then started to work on the calves bedding. You're probably wondering why we aren't spreading the manure in the field right now. Well, it's because it's too wet out, and we're using the spreader here just to keep the amount of trips down in the skid loader, and that way we make one really big pile far away from everything. And then when it's time to spread later and we're ready to haul it, it'll be nice and easy to load out. We're about 3/4 of the way done here, and I'd say we're gonna probably grow that pile that we had earlier by 50%. Nice part about this is all concrete, so when it gets really wet in the spring here, it stays dry. So what's kind of cool is this is an oat bale that we made this summer. So our crop got eaten, went through the stomach, out the rear end of the cow, and then we're gonna put it back on the field for next year. I think we got 1 or 2 more loads left, and Oliver's running good. There's no parking brake, so you gotta turn the front 2 wheels. We got everything cleaned out here, looks good. We got to put everything back now, and the cows are wanting to get back to it. So none of this had been cleaned out for 2 months, and since we're getting such warm temps, it was good to clean it, kind of spring cleaning. And then we got a new corn stalk bale in here that these guys will run in here and spread it all up and lay on it. And then these panels here separate the cows from the feeder calves. So now we're gonna take the feed that we grinded in the mixer. It's stored in the bulk bin, and we'll feed it out in buckets. So here's all our ingredients now that we made up in the mixer, and it's nicely even spread in each bucket. Now we have 7 5-gallon buckets, and we started with 6. So we're back here a couple days later. It was perfect timing when we cleaned this out. And so we're getting like an inch and a half of rain today. And then by midnight, it's gonna turn to snow. And they're saying 2 to 5 inches. So pretty crazy stuff. The temperature, it was 20 degrees a couple days ago. Now it's 50. It's gonna go back down to 20. And then in like a week, it'll be 75. So the big temperature swings on the cattle, that's what's causing them any stress right now. They're hungry, so we're gonna feed them dinner. Never ran this skid loader before, and our skid loader has different controls. I ran a skid loader like this, but it's been a few years. Yeah, no, it's a big switch.
Yeah, it sucks.
The skid loader we have is like the opposite of this. This is H pattern, I think, and ours is ISO, so you drive with one hand, run the bucket with the other, where this is together, and it takes a second to get used to. So this is one of the grass bales we made this summer. Some of them are good, and then some of them have some weeds in it. So they have this inside area here, out of the rain, which is super nice. This is all dry here, and that's the bedding that we just spread a few days ago. And then things got pretty crazy overnight when the rain turned to snow and we got a nasty blizzard. Here's some footage from my buddy Caleb Beecham. He does some storm chasing and he was out all day in it. I'll put a link to Caleb's YouTube channel in the description. He should have a video coming out soon of the whole day in the blizzard. The crazy part is it didn't actually snow that much, maybe like 2-3 inches, but we had 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and that made total whiteout conditions at times. There was a big pileup on an interstate not too far from the farm, and many times Caleb said he had to stop driving because it was so bad he couldn't see in front of his truck. And Caleb finished the day stuck in a snowdrift on a random gravel road, and a little Jeep couldn't get him out here. He said a big 2500 truck came and got him pulled out in the end. Adam lost power during the storm in the morning, and it came back a few hours later, so not a big deal, but this is what it was like.
Hey guys, it's next day after the rains. We got a pretty good blizzard here going. We got probably 3-4 inches of snow, but 60-mile-an-hour gusts, 40-mile-an-hour sustained winds. And so this morning you couldn't even see, but the cattle hung out in the barn. They're out playing in the snow. Windbreak over there did the job, but we'll have got about 3 or 4 foot drifts.
And then the next morning after the blizzard, Adam got a delivery of corn here to fill his wagons. We ran out last time we made feed. And the goal this summer here is to fix up Adam's grain bin that he has on the farm, and that way he doesn't have to get corn delivered. The bin needs a new floor. That's a summer project, and then hopefully this fall when we harvest our corn from our field a mile away, we can just bring a wagon over and get that bin filled up. And so then our cows will be eating our corn directly from our field. So that was a full week taking care of the cows. We had a lot of chores to do. It all happened in one shot. And hopefully after this blizzard, that is the last of the bad weather and things look to be warming up here. So really start putting on some weight here over the next couple months and excited to see how it goes. Thanks for watching.